In 1983, Alexandria established this museum to preserve its Black history. It includes the Robinson Library, built in 1940 after one of America's first sit-ins at the all-white City Library. We came here to see what it was like to live in a segregated world and to listen to the voices of Jim Crow.
As a kid, you knew there was black places and white places. It was just acceptable because that's what you had always seen. King Street was the shopping mecca. I would go down to Murphy's, get a little extra money, go buy some toys. And I knew something was wrong because the bathroom said white only and colored. And it didn't take me long to figure out I wasn't white. So I must go in this other bathroom. And then they had two food counters. One in the front, where black people could stand up and eat, and one in the back was for white people. Nobody explained why this was going on.
I do remember going in a small dress store here in Alexandria, not far from where I lived, and I had heard people say, you don't go in there because they don't want us in there. So a girlfriend and I decided to try it out. We went in and time just stopped. The clerks, everybody just sort of stopped in the middle of space and we just stood there and looked at them. Well, we could tell they weren't going to say, "May I help you?"
There was a bus station that you bought your ticket in the drugstore. But one day, there was a little hallway and a little window. That's where we were supposed to buy our ticket. Well, we didn't go to that. And my sister went there, and a little girl, she went in the drugstore, and a patron there said, "You in the wrong department." So she took her money and came home and told my father.
Separate schools. That meant that if you have all new books in your white school, then I should have all new books in my black school. No, you got the new edition, we got your used one.
I went to Catholic school 2 blocks away from here. It was elementary school. It went from the 1st grade to the 8th grade. It was all black. And when it was time for me to go to the 8th grade, they eliminated the 8th grade. And I didn't know where I was going to school the next year. And on the south side of town is St. Mary's Elementary School that went to the 8th grade. So I raised the question, I guess that means we'll all go to 8th grade at St. Mary's. It was an all-white school because they all Catholics. We all read the same Bible. That makes sense to me. And I was sent to the priest. And you only went to the priest when you were in trouble. The priest came to the house that afternoon and he told my father that I was raising issues about the white school. And my father was very vocal and he says, "Why the hell can't he go?" And the priest says, "I don't know." And he said, "I'll be back." And he came back and he said, "They said you haven't filled out an application." So he gave me the application, filled it out. A couple of days later, the letter came back saying what the tuition was, what the uniforms were. We told everyone else in St. Joseph's, there's no room left. So I was the only black for a whole year. There were small windows in the school door, and the other kids would come in, they would peep through the door, and they would like, there he is, you know. And I guess within 2 weeks, I met a good friend of mine, and he said, "Luma's gonna be my friend." And it all stopped. No one sang any songs anymore about 2, 4, 6, 8, we don't want to integrate.
Segregation, that was just a way of life. And I don't recall whether I really ever noticed it, but I noticed when it was over.
Next, on Jim Crow, Freedom Deferred. Personal stories of how Black Americans finally cracked the shackles of oppression.